Hey everyone, welcome back to the Going Zero Waste YouTube channel. I'm Katherine Kellogg, and today we're going to go over 5 things you didn't know were plastic. I started this series over on my Instagram, which if you aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you head over and check that out. I'm going to throw up a few of the photos over here. And I think so many times when we talk about plastics, we're focused on just these single-use items, all the while forgetting there's a lot of other plastic in our lives. And by no means do I think that we need to run out and get rid of every single thing that's plastic. I feel like often that's very counterintuitive to zero waste living. Instead, you should reuse what you have over and over and over again. But of course, there are other health implications that come with plastic. So I just think it's important to be aware of things that you might not know are plastic that are hiding in your home. The first thing up is tea bags. You might not know it, but a lot of tea bags are made with plastic. And researchers at McGill University found that after pouring boiling water over several different types of tea bags, they released more than 11 billion microplastic particles and 3 billion nanoplastic particles. And the scariest part, of course, is that we can't see any of this plastic. There was a study that was done by Orb Media in, I believe, 2018, which found that plastic is in 84% of drinking water worldwide. Much of this is so small that we can't see it. The only way to see it is through a microscope. And a new study came out last year by the University of Victoria, I believe, which found that we are eating a credit card's worth of plastic every single week. It adds up to a clothing hanger's worth of plastic every month. We are eating 12 clothing hangers worth of plastic a year. And that's just mind-blowing. So if you're an avid tea drinker like me, I would highly recommend switching from tea bags and going to loose leaf tea that you steep in a reusable strainer, use a fridge press, or anything like that. The next thing is receipts. Receipts are lined with BPA. Studies have been done where they found that people that held receipts, they still tested positive for BPA in their urine up to a week later, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. The FDA actually recommends that pregnant women not even touch receipts. So whenever I go out, I often don't take receipts unless I absolutely have to, simply because I don't like holding on to them, and they're not recyclable. You can't put them in the recycling bin because they are coated with BPA, and you can wind up contaminating several recycled paper streams. And I think one of the instances that's really prevalent in that is recycled toilet paper. A lot of toilet paper now is made from recycled content, and if the stream's been contaminated with these receipts, then you could have BPA in your toilet paper, and that's something that I know we definitely don't want. I still buy toilet paper made from recycled paper because I think it's way better than cutting down 27,000 trees, because Americans flush 27,000 trees down the toilet every day, which is just mind-blowing. So yeah, don't recycle receipts, and they are plastic. Another thing that you might not know is plastic is menstrual products. The average pad contains 4 plastic bags worth of plastic, and tampons have plastic in them as well. Now, plastic is a known endocrine disruptor, and a lot of these products also have synthetic fragrances, or they might have been bleached or dyed, and there's a lot of synthetics that are going into that, especially ones that can really interfere with our body's natural communication system. So I think one of the best things to do is either opt for organic products or opt for reusable products. I'm a huge fan of reusable products. My personal favorite are She Thinks, and I will link to a video where I tried every single type of Thinks period panties if you're interested in making that swap too. Next is coffee cups. You might not know it, but coffee cups are lined with plastic, making them unrecyclable and not compostable. Of course, there are a few different types of coffee cup brands that are specifically made to be compostable that don't use a petroleum-based liner, but most do. Most are lined with plastic. Starbucks cups, for instance, are lined with plastic, and very, very few locations have the capabilities of removing that plastic lining from the cup in order to recycle the paper. It's really energy intensive, it's hard to do, and most places just don't have those capabilities. So one of the best things you can do to avoid these plastics, of course, is to bring your own thermos or just simply ask for a real mug when you sit in the cafe. And then lastly is wet wipes. You might not know it, but wet wipes are made with plastic. I think I've said that about everything. You might not know it, but wet wipes are made using plastic. And it's one of the reasons why even if they say flushable, you should absolutely never, ever, ever flush wet wipes down the toilet. Toilet paper is made from paper, it breaks apart really easily. Wet wipes, since they have plastic to keep their integrity, they don't break down, they stick together, and it causes huge issues in our sewer systems called fatbergs. And I'm not gonna go too deep into fatbergs. I'll link more information down if you wanna check it out and learn more. But the number one thing you need to know is don't use wet wipes, don't flush them down the toilet, or if you do have to use them, make sure that you're not flushing them, but instead you're throwing them away. A really good, simple alternative though is if you just use a bidet attachment. This helps clean everything with just water and you don't have to worry about any extra product. You can just use toilet paper to pat dry. So these are 5 things that you didn't know are plastic. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Press that big red subscribe button to be notified when new videos are coming out. And I'm thinking about doing a second in this series, so let me know if that would interest you. All right, well, I will see you next week with a new video. Bye.